What's good, Knicks Nation? How we doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Alrighty. So tonight we got a solo stream, pregame analysis on how my Knicks are gonna do tonight. I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's safe. I'm gonna start the night off with a banger. I'm talking about Obi Toppin. Okay. That man Obi Toppin. There's a lot of doubters. There's a lot of rumors that he won't play that well in New York, or that he doesn't fit well with the team because we got Julius Randle. But I'm confident. I think Obi's the real deal. Although the problem is, I don't know if Tibbs is going to start him tonight, because if we're paying Julius Randle $21 million a year, it doesn't seem like we'd have a reason to start anybody over him right now. So I'm going to go out and say bold prediction for pregame analysis is that Julius Randle will be starting over Obi Toppin tonight. I don't even think Obi Toppin will start at the 3. I think we might even see some Kevin Knox at the 3, depending on if he wants to start Austin Rivers and Elfrid Payton together. I don't know. Maybe. But definitely we could see a starting lineup of Elfrid Payton, Austin Rivers, RJ, Julius, and Mitch. And even then, I don't know if we're going to start Mitch, because I don't know if you all have seen the recent stuff Mitch was posting on Instagram. I know I have. He was talking about loyalty and something like that. I don't know, some crazy stuff. I don't know if Tibbs is starting him or Noel tonight. It could really go either way, because media day, Tibbs was questioning Mitch's commitment to the game almost. I don't know. I'm not twisting words. I'm practically saying what happened. But we might see a Noel start tonight. I'm not sure. My statistic predictions, though, I'm not exactly sure how everyone's gonna play. I don't know how many minutes these guys are gonna get, which makes it a lot tougher. But I could see Obi getting a good amount of minutes tonight. Hopefully, quickly, Miles. Hopefully, all those dudes, they get some minutes, are new rookies. I could even see Miles starting a few games into the season if he's playing well in the preseason, if he plays well off the bench in the early year. I could see Miles getting a role on this team, Miles Powell. He's the real deal. I know that for a fact. That man, he is nice. But he's got some tendencies to work on. Definitely his passing he needs to work on. His shooting, he's a shooter, I'll tell you that much. He doesn't really not need to work on the shooting. The passing, he's athletic. He's pretty much what the Knicks want in a point guard, but not something we want to use on the team. It's very confusing. But I'll tell you, I definitely think Emmanuel Quickly will get some good minutes tonight. I think when the second half starts, we're going to see him probably start in the second half. Maybe we'll see Miles start in the second half. Hopefully Obi gets his respect. We'll see what happens. I'm going to make sure to go grab my phone so I don't miss any of your calls. Not that I really would get many right now anyway, but got to make sure, got to be loyal. Answer the calls. I will say, though, if Elfrid starts tonight and Austin Rivers starts tonight, even if Noel starts tonight, any of those 3 dudes, I can expect Austin Rivers and Elfrid to start, but if Noel starts tonight, we have a serious problem. Tibbs is a well-certified coach. He's one of those guys that he plays the vets, and he plays the hell out of the young dudes. But I really don't know which way it can go. It can go either way. He could put respect on someone like Julius's name, and he can give Julius 36 minutes a night. Who knows? But I just hope, I hope we have a good preseason record, considering I know we're not going to win too many games in the regular season this year. My prediction, we win probably 20, 21 games this season, 72 game season. All right, something like that. So I could definitely see us having a record of, 22-60? No, I'm sorry. That wouldn't even work. I think it would be like 22-50. But look at that. That's math for you. Anyway, Hopefully we get the chat going sometime soon here, about 6 minutes into the stream. Yeah, it's a little hard to work off of not much here. I know we got the game starting around 45 minutes. I should probably get a timer up or something like that. I'm not going to stream all the way until then, but I will tell you this much. After the game, definitely going to have a post-game stream. Hopefully y'all will be here for that if anyone's watching. I hope you guys like my Knicks hat. I've had this for a long time now, I'd say, probably about a year. I got it at the mall one day, and what can I say? I love this hat. I went to a Knicks game last December with this thing on. I went to see the Miami Heat game versus the Knicks not too long ago. Yes, sir. My buddy Anthony, he's shouting me out on the Snapchat. Not that it means that much, but yeah, hopefully we see someone like RJ Barrett show out tonight. I want to see if his shooting has improved. Obviously, that takes more than one game, but I want to see how he performs tonight. I think I have a lot of confidence. Oh, thoughts on the starting lineup? I'm not sure if they actually came out with the starting lineup yet. Let me look into that. Thank you for that question, buddy. I appreciate that. Sorry if the keyboard is loud. Yeah, my thoughts on the starting lineup, I think that we should be starting Obi, but I know that won't happen. What I think Thibodeau is going to do is I think we're going to see a lineup of something along the lines of, oh, they came out on Twitter. Did they? Let's see. I literally said it. I said it. All right. I see that. Yeah, I said we're probably going to start Nerlens Noel, and I was right. But Elfrid Payton, RJ Barrett, Alec Burks, Julius Randle, Nerlens Noel. I appreciate the comment, my guy. My initial thoughts are Thibodeau, he must know what he's doing. I'm sure he's going based off of training camp, but Mitch better be getting minutes in the regular season. He better be getting minutes tonight, because I swear, man, we need Mitch to be happy. Let me just throw this up on the screen real quick. I'm not sure if y'all can see that, but Knicks will start Elfrid Payton, RJ Barrett, Alec Burks, Julius Randle, and Nerlens Noel in the preseason opener. Obviously, the responses aren't super happy about that one, but at this point, I'm not even surprised. I said this literally not. I said this not even. What was it? 5 minutes ago when we started the stream, I said I would not be surprised if we started Nerlens Noel tonight. But do I think that's what we should do? Most definitely not. I don't hope, but I hope the only reason for this is that maybe Mitch was is out of condition or something. He's not conditioned and he needs to just get in better shape or something. But as far as I'm concerned, we made the wrong decision tonight to start Nerlens Noel. I don't understand why we're not investing in the young guys here and starting them, giving them that starting role over someone like Noel, who has had his chance to prove to any organization. He's been in Dallas, OKC. I can't even remember. He got picked pretty high, but I don't even remember where he went. I'm too young for that. I'm only 16. I don't really remember all that sort of stuff, but I'll tell you that much. I'm not surprised Julius Randle's starting. I said that too. I most definitely think that that's fair, that we're starting Julius Randle, but who knows? Do you think Frank improved? If so, what will his averages be like this year? I think Frank, he probably improved his shot in the offseason a little bit. He's one of the most, and let me just say, he's one of the most elite defensive players in the NBA. He does not get his respect. He's a Chris Dunn type of guy, right? Chris Dunn is someone who's going to be on an NBA team for the next 3 to 5 years at this point in his career, and I could see him just being that defensive stud off the bench. He's backing up Trae Young. Obviously Trae Young's got his deficiencies defensively. But yeah, Frank doesn't get his respect. I could see his averages if he's not getting minutes this season, or if he does get minutes this season, that is. He'll probably play around 23, 24 minutes a game if he's lucky. I could see probably somewhere along the lines of 8.5, 9 points a game. He's not really an offensive threat like that. 4 rebounds a game, 3 assists a game. I don't see serious production coming out of Frank, but when he's on the floor, he's going to be on their best player. You could even see a guy like Kevin Durant being guarded by Frank Ntilikina this year if that matchup happens. I would not be surprised. Not that they're the ideal matchup, but if we're talking about defensive player of the team, definitely Frank Ntilikina will be on the other team's best player. But yeah, after seeing these starting lineups tonight with Elfrid Payton starting at the 1 and Alec Burks starting at the 3, that doesn't make any damn sense. I didn't even really look into it like that. Alec Burks at the 3? We could have started Obi there. We could have started Kevin Knox there. For all I care, we should have started, what's his name? We should have started Mitch at center. I don't really understand. It doesn't make sense. It's good. We got all this hope in the offseason. It's another Knicks year, where, of course, now we're going to be starting the vets over the young guys. Doesn't really make any sense, but that's how the cookie crumbles in the Knicks organization at this point in time. But yeah, if we're looking at the initial reactions, they're not happy. But what I will say is that I have hope that the Knicks can be another. I mean, this is pathetic, but they're just going to be a lottery team again next year, and I'm content with that as long as Obi doesn't totally have a terrible rookie season. If Obi has a good rookie year, then we're talking, right? Then it's a good season. That's pretty much what defines the season. If Frank gets minutes, if Quickly gets minutes, if Miles gets minutes, if Mitch finally starts, then we're talking about a good season. We see RJ Barrett starting at the 2. That's a little controversial to me. I think we definitely had a lot more wiggle room if we had just thrown him at the 3, honestly. I don't really understand why we're doing Elfrid Payton. I do understand the Elfrid Payton start. That's something I predicted. I predicted RJ Barrett to start at 3 and Austin Rivers to start at 2. But obviously, I guess training camp to Thibodeau proved otherwise because you have someone like Alec Burks starting at the 3. You're thinking to yourself, why is Alec Burks starting? Wasn't he just a guy we signed to be a rotational player, someone who comes off the bench, 6th, 7th, 8th man? Well, obviously, Kevin Knox must have underperformed in training camp. RJ Barrett must have performed nicely in training camp because he's starting at the 2, which is a very important role on this team. We don't even really have an established 2. We got Austin Rivers, but then again, he's more, in my opinion, of a 1. He's the type of guy, but who knows? Oh, so how many points do I think that Obi Toppin will score tonight? I think Obi, it depends totally on his minutes. And at this point, not even sure who's playing, because this is kind of shocking to me. I mean, if someone like Austin Rivers is sitting down, it makes more sense to me. But, okay. So it looks like, let me read into this just before I answer that question. Looks like Obi will make his debut tonight. That's a good thing. Apparently, he was matching up with Julius Randle in the scrimmages. He's also playing against the centers. Obviously, Obi's got a lot of issues defensively, so I'm not going to talk about him even playing the center position. It would just be a dumpster fire. But I think that Obi is he's an efficient offensive guy. He shot 60+% from the field in college. At Dayton, he was the number 1 power forward in the country, I'm pretty sure. He was number 5 ranked in the draft. He fell to 8. I think he'll score probably a good, and I'll just say, I'll set the bar kind of medium to low. I say he'll score 10 to 15 points tonight if he gets minutes. And assuming, we're playing the Detroit Pistons. I could see us definitely losing tonight, but I think the better question would be how many points is Obi going to score, and that's a very good question. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that. Let me get right into this. Tom Thibodeau said his starters won't play the normal amount of minutes in preseason opener tonight. As you'd expect, coach staff wants to look at a lot of players versus Detroit. Thibodeau suggests New York may play lineups in 7-minute segments versus Detroit. No lineup is set in stone right now. So That is kind of relieving in a way. It shows that Thibodeau, it really didn't matter who he starts tonight because they're probably all going to play at least equivalent minutes. We could see probably 20, 20, 20, 20 from all those other guys, but I'm not sure. Do you think Noel will be a starter for a little bit and then have Mitch as our sixth man again this year, or do you think they will change it up depending on how he plays tonight? I think it just being a preseason game, I honestly don't see why Noel would start during the regular season like this. I think the reason that Thibodeau put him in the starting lineup is probably because he outplayed Mitch in the training camp, which is really unencouraging because it shows maybe Mitch didn't make a lot of improvements in the offseason. I'm not sure. But I'll tell you this much. I think Mitch should be starting 72 out of the 72 games next season. That's just a fact in my opinion. I'm not really understanding the start, but it's Thibodeau. He plays the guys who played best in training camp, and all the spots are kind of up in the air here. But yeah, I could see probably our MVP of the team being someone like an RJ Barrett this season, maybe a Mitch, depending on if he gets the minutes. But I appreciate the comments. Thank you, ET, English class, Joseph. I appreciate all of you. Now let's get into the predictions, okay? I know we're playing the Pistons our first two games of the preseason. I'll just pull up the schedule so you guys can see it along with me. Knicks preseason. Obviously no tickets. Knicks preseason. So obviously I think we're looking at a back-to-back with the Cavs. We are. So we start our season with the Pacers. That is not a worry to me right now. We'll talk about that maybe post-game. Who knows? Zach will be on with me post-game. We'll talk Knicks. We might throw in some Giants at the very end there. Who knows? But obviously they're contending for the playoffs, and that in itself is a pretty big deal for the freaking Giants. So the Knicks will play against the Pistons. Obviously, I think it's more fair if I just say the Knicks will probably... I think the Knicks are going to take an L tonight. I don't know if Blake is going to play. If Blake plays, I think we're definitely looking at a competitive matchup. I don't know. I mean, Killian Hayes making his debut. Obi's making his debut. I was someone who's really high on Killian Hayes. I was really happy with the Obi pick, but I could see Killian Hayes as a more advanced defensively, but less skilled offensively version of D'Angelo Russell. And that's no hit to Obi's game. It's actually a big compliment. D'Angelo Russell is one of my favorite players. And I think Killian, he's going to be the real deal in Detroit, especially with someone like D-Rose as a mentor. I'll give this game to the Pistons. But, just based on Thibodeau's lineup that he's thrown out there, I don't think we deserve the win for that starting lineup. And they signed Jeremiah Grant, Miles or Mason Plumlee in the offseason. They overpaid for a ton of power forwards. But if they put it together correctly and their coaching staff knows how to play them well, sky's the limit for the Pistons. And when I mean sky's the limit, I mean 10th seed is the limit. I definitely don't think they're going to be good, but I think we're going to be worse. So I'll give the Pistons the first game. And then post-game, we'll talk more predictions depending on how we play tonight. Another thing, I'm going to go live on Sunday evening, pre- and post-game to the Knicks. If y'all want to tune into that, set a reminder, turn on notifications, subscribe. No pressure. I just appreciate having you guys in the chat. Love the Knicks fans. Love the community. And, we have a tough first half of the actual season. So the fact that we get to play the two probably worst teams in the East with ourselves for the first 4 preseason games makes it a little bit more competitive on the Knicks end of things. Let's see, I got another question from English class here. Thank you. What are your opinions on both Emmanuel Quickley and Miles Powell? How do I think that they're going to fit into the roster this year? My opinion on them is Emmanuel Quickley, elite shooter. Obviously, I think he has some flaws defensively, as does most of the team, but he's one of those elite shooter type of guys. Me and Zach talked about it. He really reminds me of a Tyler Hero type of player, and it's so weird to be comparing Tyler Hero to Emmanuel Quickley because they both went to Kentucky, and they're both young players. But, I could see Emmanuel Quickley getting some minutes this year. I know we got a lot of Kentucky staff this year. We got a lot of Kentucky players. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Nerlens Noel, Emmanuel Quickley, Julius Randle, and quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if we traded for some sort of Kentucky player during the season. What's his name? It's Kenny Payne. Kenny Payne is one of our assistant coaches. He's a former Kentucky staff. So I think that Immanuel Quickley will actually fit somewhere into the lineup this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing well that he fits maybe even to the starting lineup some nights, depending on injury, depending on status of who's got COVID and whatnot, because that'll be a big issue. Miles Powell, I think he deserves his respect, Miles Powell. He's an elite shooter. Another issue is kind of his defense, but he's very athletic. There's a lot of potential there. I don't really see him fitting into our lineup this year. I mean, I wish, but we got so many guys. We got Frank, DSJ, Alfred, Austin Rivers. I mean, they're all contending for the point guard spot. And I don't know if Miles Powell was going to throw his hat in the ring there or not. If he does, hopefully he makes it well known early, and hopefully he plays his ass off. But do I have confidence that will happen under a coach like Thibodeau, who is starting Nerlens Noel over Mitchell Robinson? Not exactly. I'm not sure. But I'll say this much. I have hope that we're able to get a guy next season. Kind of changes everything in the draft. We'll see what happens. But all right, who do I think is going to score the most points on the New York Knicks this season? That's a very good question. I appreciate that, Joseph. I think we could probably see... that's tough. I mean, I would say RJ Barrett just because I definitely see him as the most offensively talented player on this team. But Julius Randle may swipe in. And the only reason I don't say Julius Randle off to start here is because I think, in my opinion, I have confidence that Julius Randle at some point will either come off of the bench or have a more limited role on the team. We're definitely not building around someone like Julius Randle. We're building around someone like Obi Toppin, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson. Now, do I understand exactly why we hired someone like Tom Thibodeau and not Kenny Atkinson? No, I'm not sure. Kenny Atkinson is more of a development coach. Tom Thibodeau is a win-now coach. If you really think that starting Nerlens Noel over Mitchell Robinson and that's your win-now situation, you know what? Go ahead, do that. But I don't see starting Alec Burks. That doesn't make sense, especially in the preseason. I would expect someone like RJ Barrett to actually slide over to the 3. I think he could probably be better off there in the shooting guard position, considering his percentages were so bad last season. But I'm hoping that this is a sign that potentially RJ Barrett improved his shooting over the last offseason. Maybe he improved on his defense. I know that was kind of an issue. Not exactly, but he had kind of a hard time, so who knows. How do I feel about Julius Randle's spin move problem? Man, he's got a spin move addiction. I don't know what to tell you about that one. I definitely think Julius Randle needs to step it up if he wants to stay on this team at least halfway through the season. Hopefully he changed his game and made it more team-oriented rather than stat and player-oriented, because last year it looked like the man was just playing for himself. Got another question here. How good do I think Obi Toppin's going to be for the Knicks? I think that he's a unique fit. I'll say that much. I think that he's a very good player. I think he's very talented, very athletic. Amari Stoudemire-esque. Maybe, well, more athletic than Amari Stoudemire, but Amari Stoudemire-esque skill-wise. But I definitely think that his fit with the team is kind of weird. I know he's definitely the best player available at 8. I feel like we would regret it if we hadn't chosen him at that spot. So I'll definitely take that pick. But I don't understand the idea of starting someone like Alec Burks over him. I mean, I guess we're looking for a shooting starting 5, but then that's contradicted by Elfrid Payton starting because we know he's not really a shooter. And Julius Randle or Julius Randle or Nerlens Noel, they're really not the shooter type of guys that we're looking for. If you wanted to start a shooting lineup, you'd have Austin Rivers at the 1, RJ. If you're building around RJ in the starting lineup, who obviously needs shooting around him, which is not present here except for maybe Alec Burks, I'd give Julius Randle a little bit of respect with the shooting, but really not that much. But I definitely think that that this team has a good young core, and if we don't mess it up like we always do, then we have a chance at at like the the 13th seed, 12th seed, something like that. I think that's our best case scenario, and I don't even want to win. I'd rather be the worst team in the league and get the first pick odds. Not that that ever favors us, but I'd rather have a top 5 pick. Do you think Mitch fixed his fouling problem from last year, and do you think that he'll get 3 fouls before the end of the first half? I think it would take a literal skill for Mitch to get 3 fouls before the end of the first half. He's, for one, not starting, and if they're playing in 7-minute segments, you probably get, in my opinion, because I don't know if they're going to straight up play in 7-minute segments or not. I could see him getting like 10 minutes in the first half. I don't know what will happen with that, but, he's got a lot of potential defensively. He was very raw for the first 2 years of his career in that. But I think if he's ready to take the step up defensively, and this is his 3rd year, this should be a breakout year for him. Go at it. I could see him averaging 2.5, maybe even 3 blocks a game this year. We don't really have much on the team, so him hopefully getting high usage, high minutes will help. But if he doesn't fix his fouling problem, then we need to have another talk, because he's not going to be able to stay on the floor. That may be a reason why he's not starting tonight. Hopefully that's not the reason. But I could definitely see that being a big issue in the future if he's still got a fouling problem. Because we see defensive players like Rudy Gobert, they don't really have this problem. At least not much anymore, because they worked on it. And if he still has this problem, it means he's not putting in the work. What can I say? The refs don't hate the dude, so. I really appreciate everyone tuning in this stream, asking questions. I love interacting with you guys. It makes me so happy to see some Knicks fans care about the Knicks team, especially because we're not that good. 23 minutes till game time. I appreciate you all stopping in, talking to me. I think another stream, we're probably going to stream around 10:30. We're going to talk post-game Knicks. We're going to analyze some of the footage, see how Obi plays, see if Julius improved anything, see how Mitch plays, RJ. And I'll get back to you guys as soon as that Knicks game is over. I'll be ready. I'll be ready with the whole script. I'll take my notes. Don't worry about it. But hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, just turn on the notifications, set a reminder. Jack is going live on Knicks4Clicks, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And I'll see you guys then.